Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust, Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening into the replay to the vault. This is going to be a great episode today, addressing the biggest problem prohibiting your trust success. Want to address quite a few problems that are continuously brought up to the vault via consultations and people asking questions that are a problem. That's why they come to the vault. So our best case is to explain the needs that people have that are being addressed and issues that, or problems I should say, the biggest problem prohibiting your trust success would be, not knowing contracts and things of that nature. So really excited about this episode. Thank you wherever you are listening in the world or listening in the replay. Do appreciate you for listening live or once again in the replay. So excited about that. Appreciate you once again. Let's just go ahead and hop in it. The biggest problem prohibiting your trust success. This is easily one of the biggest problems that people come to the vault and they want addressed, which is to go private, to be private, to maintain privacy, to understand privacy. By not understanding privacy, which trust is a secret, the definition of a trust inside of a legal dictionary is that it's a secret. So a lot of times traditionally you won't see a lot of information posted about it, particularly private trust, whereas the public trust are a lot more prevalent. There's many different types of trust. One of the biggest problems prohibiting your trust success is not knowing which trust to be in. There's over 80 different types of trust, so the vault helps you with that. You can contact us. I'll do this early in the episode. You can contact us, Christian@trustchristian.com, for a consultation. We're still enrolling for Trustee Training, and so you all can feel free to email us for Trustee Training. It is a 12-week course. We have moderators, so if you feel that you have the time, feel free to inquire right now. The price is at a very moderate price, and we're going to go forward from there. So people don't, the biggest problem prohibiting your trust success is not knowing contracts, not knowing public and private. Why would you know these things? They're private. You can go do your research. They're private. Contract law is private law. It helps maintain privacy. It helps individuals be able to contract without the government, and it allows you to contract within statutory means for other citizens and things of that nature. The biggest problem is not knowing when people like Warren Buffett say, I'm not going to give my money to my children, I'm going to give it to charity, but his children are inside of trusts and inside of charities and they're receiving money that way. See, by not knowing the right system, then you're not able to execute the right wealth strategy. There's a system, just like there's a public school system, there is a private trust system. There's a private system that's working underneath the everyday working mentality. Why? Because there are things called private companies, and you can see those things in front of your eyes, but that's a system that's operating that you haven't been taught. So if you have been taught that, then you know it. If you don't, then traditionally it's not taught to you. And by it not being taught to you, it's the biggest problem prohibiting your trust success is by not knowing private contracts from public contracts, contract law in general, and things of that nature. So understanding the biggest problem prohibiting your trust success will be able to put you in the mindset of own nothing, control everything. The programming that an individual's been given via the system they've been given to build wealth. The system of go to school, get a good education, get a good job. That system. That is a system. And so there is a private system of own nothing, control everything. The wealthiest families don't own anything. So, own nothing, control everything. The mindset, that system. It's a private system. The biggest problem prohibiting your success is not knowing that system. Here's the system. The system is to protect the wealth for the family. It is to preserve the wealth for the family. Protecting it, having it in the right position, having it in the correct entities, having it in a private position where it is protected, where it's without public view. where it's able to be preserved. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are utilizing dollars or any currency for that matter, if it's not backed by gold, backed by a hard, tangible asset or substance, quote unquote, then what is it backed by? What value does it have other than the ink that's written on it? So preservation, wealth preservation comes in many different ways. When you go to an estate sale, you see how wealth is preserved. It's preserved in collectible art, cars, and jewelry. It's passed on through real estate, preserved through real estate. If it's in a great area, the value may never go down. So, preserving the wealth, growing the wealth. The biggest problem prohibiting your trust success is growing the wealth. Why? Because there's many ways to grow the wealth, and having a job traditionally is not going to cut it. It requires an entrepreneur mindset. So the biggest problem prohibiting your trust success is not having an entrepreneur, and it's really not an entrepreneur, it's an investor mindset. Where's that education being taught? Where's investor mindset being taught? Where's investor education being taught? True investor education, which includes risk management. Risk management. Being able to be emotionally stable. Having a strong student mentality. Having a high risk tolerance. Being able to address those things, and those things are addressed in trustee training, specifically when you deal with the trading, because that's more of the finance, whereas your biggest problem prohibiting your trust success is not just the form, which is the trust. Oh wow, I've never been able to be a trustee before, I've never operated a trust before, the lack of knowledge for trusteeship. But the trading addresses the finance, which the finance is dealing with obviously the funds, growing the funds. You know, how does a trust really grow its funds? Through investing, privately, publicly investing, having a specific skill set in investing. Once again, these are skill sets. Protection is skill set. Being able to have a team, great accountants, great lawyers, interviewing these people. The biggest problem in prohibiting your trust success is not being able to build a good team, not knowing how to build a team, not knowing that in trust you have a team. Always have, always will. Why? Because it's multiple people. It's not a sole proprietorship. It's not an LLC where it's just possibly a sole owner on the LLC. It's not maybe the sole owner on a corporation or S corp. It's not a sole owner. It could be many different situations. Once again, it's over 80 different types of trust. So which one are you a trustee over? Your biggest problem prohibiting your trust success is not knowing trust law. Once again, not knowing a team, not being able to build a team, not understanding that it's a team environment. Completely team building. A lot of people address, oh, I don't have anybody that can help me as a trustee, or I don't know anyone that could be a successor. Who do you trust? That used to be one of the questions we would ask in the beginning is, who do you trust? With your wife, with your husband. Growing the wealth. That's the biggest problem prohibiting your trust success. It's growing it, because you have to have the investor mindset. Everything has to be put down. It's no more 2 weeks in a paycheck. It's investors. It's work, receive compensation. Work, receive compensation. The trust, that is. Biggest problem prohibiting your trust success is not knowing how to successfully bypass taxes such as estate tax, inheritance tax. Elite and wealthy understand. You all can see these examples of wealthy individuals all the time. Your favorite movie star or movie stars that you've seen, go see how their estate is disseminated once they pass away. Did it go through a trust? Steve Jobs, when he passed away, he had assets because Steve Jobs is the former owner or founder of Apple, and when he got fired and went to Pixar, there was a trust created. And when he passed away, when Pixar had to start making distributions, not to maybe Steve Jobs anymore, but to his wife and his children, that was all in trust. You all can Google that story. in trust. It wasn't given directly to them. And so you can see many examples of uh, the biggest problem in prohibiting your trust success. Your trust success is like, if do you know who Rockefeller? The reason why you know Rockefeller name is because there was endowments given by their foundation or their trust across the world. I repeat, across the world. So you know other names like Carnegie. You know other names like Booker T. Washington. These are some of the most famous trustees of the past 150 years. There's many other trustees that we can go through, start naming them, that have created a legacy, that have created where you know their name 60, 100, 200 years later because they made an impact that was significant. So the biggest problem you're having in trust is by thinking about right now and not thinking long term, not thinking about generations, but thinking about yourself, by thinking about your first name, not your last name. It's about the family name. Your biggest problem prohibiting your trust success is not thinking family generational wealth. It's a program, it's a system. So, excited about the topic today. Really appreciate you all for tuning in live or listening to the replay. Appreciate you, Ernest, for tuning in live, and Cassandra, appreciate you live. Black for tuning in live as well. Thank you all so much. If you all have any questions, feel free to type into the chat. If you all have any questions, feel free to type into the chat, and we'll go forward from there. But just wanted to do an episode today really highlighting the biggest problem prohibiting your success and trust is many reasons. But what if you can get that private trustee training at the vault, the trustee training that you need, knowing there's not many trustee training programs out there. Trustee training prepares you to have conversations with lawyers, accountants, to be able to understand the positions and how to manage a family office, manage family wealth. So excited about the vault and the enrollment that we've had. 12-week course is definitely going to be a blast. Really excited about that. This is not something that we sit here and we brag about the numbers for trustee training, or as long as we run trustee training for years now. Years. More than one, more than two, more than three, maybe even more than four trustee trainings. And so really excited about that. You all can feel free to email us, Christian@TrustChristian, and get going into training. There's quite a few people that always wanted to be trained, but we're not ready for the lifestyle, and that's fair. So being able to be available for just at least the training is the critical point, and that's what we're looking forward to do right now. At least get the training in a 12-week program to where individuals can just be a part of a training program on the onset of particularly engaging in the lifestyle. So really excited about that. The enrollment has been really high, definitely exceeded our expectations, and we look forward to continuously hearing from all of you all with trustee training, and the rest of you all putting yourselves in the correct position as far as being able to protect, preserve, grow, and pass on wealth. And that's what it's all about. And so just really excited about that. If you all have any questions, feel free to type in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to go. Peace and blessings. Look forward to hearing from you all with another episode Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern